Hello and welcome to Prince Civil Services YouTube channel. My name is Dr. Sanchit and today a very important video, and the topic is related to both current affairs as well as India's great heritage in art and craft. So the video's title is The Craft Traditions Behind PM Modi's Special Gifts for G7 Leaders. This is going to be part 1 and there will be a part 2 also. So video, as I told you, the topic is both current affairs, but the majority of the major concern is regarding India's craft, the great Indian heritage and so on. So first of all, as we follow a pattern that we will discuss why we are making this video or why we need to learn about this. So why in news? So recently G7 summit is happening in Germany. So our Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Germany and he is having talks with all the G7 leaders. So here he presented leaders with a range of art and craft pieces sourced from various parts of the country. So our concern is not about the international politics or what is happening there exactly, but our concern will be related with what PM Modi gifted all those great leaders of the great countries, G7 countries. So our concern is the art and craft tradition, the gifts given by PM Modi to the G7 leaders. We will discuss one by one what are those gifts. Please remember, it is very important from art and culture perspective that you should know India's craft traditions. So India is a land of diversity from starting from Jammu Kashmir to your Tamil Nadu, Kerala. So every state has got some famous craft tradition. So PM Modi decided that he should gift some executed craft to each and every one leader of the G7 countries. So we will discuss one by one what he gifted. So first of all, he gifted black pottery pieces for Japanese PM. You don't need to remember that what is the name of Japanese PM. Just remember the black pottery and try to learn about the black pottery. So this black pottery is from Nizamabad in Uttar Pradesh. And why this is so special? Because of the special technique through which this is made. So you can see on your screens, these are the pieces which were given by PM Modi to the Japanese PM, and you can see these are the black pottery pieces. So they are special for their black color. Now there is a special technique involved in making these black pottery pieces. So what happened is that why there is this black color? So for that, special requirement, special condition is created, and that condition is that there should be no oxygen in the oven. So no oxygen should be able to enter into the oven, as pottery pieces are kept inside and there is no oxygen, and in the environment where there's no oxygen and high temperature is there, so the color turned out to be this shiny black surface. Now please remember, if there is oxygen, what can happen? The pottery will turn red. So that is why no oxygen is the major condition to produce this type of pottery. Now what about the glaze that is shining? The glaze on the pottery, where does the glaze comes from? The glaze comes from the high zinc content of the soil and the layer of the mustard oil applied before firing the pottery. So that is why it is specially made in Nizamabad, because there is high zinc content in the soil. So when it is applied, then it is fired. The color you get is the black, which is glazed one, and there is no oxygen in the oven. So that is the first gift given by PM Modi to our Japanese PM. Now next gift he gave was the Dhokra art to the presidents of Argentina and South Africa. So you should focus on what is this Dhokra art. So basically it is a non-ferrous metal casting art. Non-ferrous means that the metal involved is not iron or steel. Other than iron or steel, other metals are used. So that is why it is known as non-ferrous metal. So Dhokra art is non-ferrous metal casting art. And please remember the technique used here is lost wax casting technique. We will discuss in short while, but please remember it is non-ferrous metal casting art and the technique used is lost wax casting technique. Now this Dhokra art comes from Chhattisgarh. So you will be asked from which state this Dhokra art is concerned. So it is concerned or it is made in basically Chhattisgarh. So this is the Dhokra art, and what PM Modi gifted was that Nandi. So the figure of Nandi, you can see this is a figure of Nandi was gifted to the this president, Argentinian president. So please remember Dhokra is from Chhattisgarh and it is a non-ferrous metal casting technique which uses lost wax casting technique. Now what is lost wax casting technique? It's simple. I will explain in the simple words. You create a statue of a wax. Now you covered it with clay. Now you will heat the this mold and wax will come out. That is why it is known as lost wax. Now the wax will come out and a image or a figure will be created. Now you pour down the metal which is used in this. So metal is poured into the space created, it cools down, then the clay is withdrawn and you get a metal like structure. You do the polishing and so on and you get the statue. So that is the lost wax casting technique. It is also known as, this is add-on information, it is also known as Cire Perdue. The other name of lost wax technique is Cire Perdue. And if you have read the ancient history, if you have read the IBC, so in those days also, the statues which were made, they were made using this technique only, that is Cire Perdue and or your lost wax casting technique. Okay, so this is the second gift. Third is Gulabi Meenakari brooch cufflinks set to US President. So please remember Gulabi Meenakari is important here. So what is Gulabi Meenakari? It is basically GI tagged art form of Varanasi. We will also discuss what is GI tagged. That is why I am making this video into two parts. So it is GI tagged. We will discuss what is GI tagged. But it is from Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh. So basically what happens is a piece of pure silver is molded into a base form and then a chosen design is embossed in the metal. Then embossed shapes are then filled with great dexterity with crushed meena glass mixed with natural anardana. So this is how intricate this technique is, and then you get a very beautiful structure. You can see this is gifted to US President. So these are the Gulabi Meenakari. Now there are various forms of Meenakari. So basically you have various types: Ek Rang Khula Meena, Panch Rang Meena, Gulabi Meena. Okay, so how this Gulabi Meenakari is distinguished from other forms? So simply there is a layer of white meena. So you can see here behind this, below this, there is a layer of white meena which act as an opaque canvas. Now what has happened is the paint is fired layer by layer for permanence, and now motifs use the color pink. That is why it is known as Gulabi Meenakari. Okay, and it is different from other types of Meenakari, and I will try to make another video specifically on Meenakari. But for now, you should remember that Gulabi Meenakari is GI tagged art form and it is basically from Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh. Now, Meenakari, let's have a more discussion on Meenakari. So basically it's an art form of coloring and ornamenting on a metal surface. So the base is metal. Meena, a feminine form of Minu in Persian means heaven. So this Meena word means heaven, and it originated basically as a Persian art of coloring. So we have discussed three forms right now, three gifts. What first was black pottery from Nizamabad in Uttar Pradesh. Second was Dhokra art from Chhattisgarh. And third is your Gulabi Meenakari, which is a DGI tagged art form of Varanasi. Now, to end this video, let's have a more information. Since we have studied about GI tag, mentioned GI tag, you should know what is GI tags. So basically, GI stands for geographical indication. And now, what is GI? GI. So it is a type of a sign used on products that have a specific geographical origin and possesses qualities or a reputation that are due to that origin. So basically what happens is that there are different type of products. It could be any type of product. It could be a food, it could be an agriculture product, it could be a craft. Now the main thing is that you provide a tag, a sign to a product, but you cannot provide sign to each and everything. So what is required is that that product and its quality or reputation must be because of the origin place. So I told you that Varanasi, that is your Gulabi Meenakari. So Gulabi Meenakari's reputation is just because it is produced in Varanasi only. So if you try to produce Gulabi Meenakari at some other place, it will not be like the Varanasi Gulabi Meenakari. So that is why the quality, the reputation of that product is because of the origin. So that is why geographical indication tags are provided to the products. So basically the qualities, the characteristics or reputation of the product should be essentially due to the place of origin. I told you that Gulabi Meenakari is of Varanasi, and if you try to produce it in another place, you will not get the same stuff. So this was GI tags. It is a type of IPR. There are various forms of IPR. IPR stands for intellectual property rights. So one of the types of IPR is GI tags, that is geographical indication. So this was the part 1 and this will be followed by part 2. I hope you have understood the importance of India's craft, and it has been showcased at the world level and they are very famous at the world level. So this will be followed by part 2. And so this was the part 1. Thanks for watching and please subscribe to our channel Prince Civil Services. You can also follow us on Telegram, Instagram for regular updates. Thank you. Keep watching and keep learning. See you in the part 2 of the video.